what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lineage Break podcast. I'm your host, Cam. With me, as always, is the glue. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Cam. How are you?
Welcome back. We made it. I'm doing well. How are you, Steven? I feel like I haven't seen you in a dog's age.
Oh, man. It's because, I'm, coming out of retirement. Feels good.
He's back. He's ready. He had a golf vacation. He was hitting the back nine.
Yeah, I'm, moved into the retirement home now.
Oh,
I'm up there, shady
hot meals,
shady greens or whatever.
Yeah, applesauce and mashed potatoes for your dentures. Yeah, it's good to be back. We're back.
How are you?
I'm all right.
How was your weekend?
It was good.
Yeah.
Back from Ascent Chicago, glorious O'Hare Airport. O'Hare Airport is lovely this time of year, and I spent lots of good time at O'Hare International Airport. Yeah, it's good to be back. As always, I have to do my acceptance speech for my Academy Award, and thank everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show, for all the kind things that you said this weekend. Thank you to TM32, Ken, and Chinja for having me on. As always, I really do appreciate it. Shout out to our good friend, Sean Zhang, Ascent champion.
Doing the girl justice.
Very much deserves it.
Bringing her home.
Sean is every day more likely getting my vote for the GOAT of Grand Archive, and I think he's doing a great job showing why that is. So congratulations to Sean. Congratulations to the lovely folks at Chess Club as well, Noel, Rex, Pickle, all getting their top 8 finish.
Yeah.
And of course,
bring home some beautiful Viras.
It's true. She's gorgeous. And of course, congrats to Matt G, the legend playing Erupting.
Yeah.
Almost getting his second Ascent title is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So big congrats to you guys. Thank you for playing this weekend. Thank everybody for watching. But yeah, we're back. It's good to be back. We have lots of shit to talk about.
Yeah. Where do you want to
Busy
start?
news week.
I just want to gush about how cool fucking Path of Puzzle was.
Path of Puzzle is pretty cool.
Literally the only, one of the only things that I regret about not being in Chicago, other than, hanging out with all the friends, is, I wanted to really do puzzle.
I hear, and maybe this isn't 100% accurate, but I think it is 98% accurate. I hear that Cherry is responsible for Path of Puzzle, so everybody thank Cherry for her brilliant idea.
Path of Puzzle was a sick idea.
It was really cool. Yeah.
I would pay money for a Grand Archive art puzzle.
People did pay money, and a lot of money. I'm not gonna let any secrets out of the bag as far as what people paid for those bids for those prints, because you got the print and you got the puzzle.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
Too much money. I put in a modest bid for Fangirl for $200, and I was blown out of the water.
Laughed at.
Yeah, laughed out of the room, and I was like, "That's okay. That's not for me." Turns out, yeah,
it would have been perfect for it.
I know. Well, that's why I put a bid on it so that we could hang it in the studio.
We should just hang the sign, Lineage back under there.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't follow me on Twitter, go do that. It's at Lineage Break. I took home some of the big poster boards that had Ari on them, so just absolutely taken advantage of. I was in the room, the VIP room, where the stream setup was, and I think I'd just gotten off my round. It was it's just going off for break, and I was hanging out in the VIP room talking to Valkyrie or something, and Cherry comes in, and she's like, "A bunch of people told me to come get you. We're selling these foam boards, but some of them have Ari on them, and several people have approached me to come tell you about them before we sell them." And so just what's a man to do in that situation,
Right.
Arms being twisted, and I had to go in there and give them all my hard-earned money. They know what they were doing.
They did.
They knew.
Yeah.
They got me. So now I got to figure out something to do with them.
And they're too big.
They're so big. I might be able to hang the front desk one up front.
I think that's the plan, and then maybe just take home the other one.
I don't know. It would be nice, right? In a theoretical world. So I have to. Hey everybody, I'm the manager of Webway Games in Massachusetts. If you ever come play Grand Archive in Massachusetts, I will be here. It's a hard balance to strike between my partner and I that I want to turn our entire store into a weeb den, you know? And so I want to replace all of the things on all of the walls with Grand Archive stuff, and I could do it. And I think it would be nice, theoretically, for Grand Archive that is so big here to have an actual, because it says like demo signups on it or whatever. I would love to have a place that people can sign up and like schedule a demo if, you know, I'm busy or whatever, and they come and they want to try a Grand Archive, and I like have a little place that they can go write down their name and their contact info and a time to run a demo. Would be cool, but I need to find some wall space to do that. So maybe. All right. Sorry, I'm a little bit sniffly today. I've been overworked and I'm overtired, and I really need a day off. But today's not that day.
Nope.
I'm here with you, beautiful folks, and with you, beautiful Stephen, to talk about things. So, I don't know, man. I'm tired. I don't want to dwell on talking about the meta or whatever and Sylvie being a menace. I guess we'll talk about the ban list a little bit towards the end of the show, and we can spend that time talking about Sylvie being a menace and everybody throwing up their hands and quitting the game and, oh, everything sucks. Oh, God, they made Tamer good. What we do have to talk about, lots of announcements from Chicago, Stephen. You tuned in for the live stream?
I didn't shut off the stream from day one until it ended.
Nice.
And I was in chat.
I saw you a couple of times.
Yeah.
We had chat up for day one, like on our screen. So I saw some people type on day one, and we didn't have it up for day two, and that's like maybe good. I was like sort of omega tilted while chat was up on day one, and they're not here, so like whatever, get flamed, idiot. And I don't even remember what their name is, so they're like probably not somebody that's like invested in the community. But like while we were streaming on day one, there was one game, obviously, that involved Sylvie, because every single game on stream involves Sylvie. Where I was describing the interaction between the Majestic Spirit, which was on board, and Slime Eruption.
I know exactly what you're talking
which
about.
Deals 0 damage, right? Because it deals it in increments of 1, and it rounds down the damage, right? Or rounds up the damage negation, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And some absolute fucking idiot. It's just typing in there for like 10 minutes. It's like, oh, that's not how it works. Oh, it definitely still deals damage. And I just like want to reach through the internet and strangle them to death.
Yeah.
And so that one was tough to work while I'm like, no, I know I'm right. Yeah. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I saw that going off and I was just like, yikes, close chat.
I was molding.
The other time I had to close chat was the Guro stuff.
Oh yeah.
I had to close chat for it because everyone was just flaming and I was just like,
everyone's a judge.
Yep.
But hey, if you want to be a judge, you can be a judge. You can be,
yeah.
The judge test goes live today, which is crazy. It's going to be a 30-minute timed open book test, and you can only take it once a week. So if you're a dummy and you fail it, you can try it again next week, which is good. I really encourage everybody. If you consider yourself, if you're watching Lineage Break, and I don't want to exclude anybody, thank you for watching Lineage Break. But if you're watching Lineage Break, I have to assume that you're kind of a dedicated Grand Archive gamer. You like some Grand Archive. You understand all the stupid shit that we talk about on the show.
Right.
And if you're one of those people, it costs you nothing but your time. Take the judge test. Whether you plan on judging or not, take the judge test, because I think it is so important that all of our players understand the comprehensive rules, understand the tournament guidelines. So take the judge test, maybe use this as an opportunity to read the comprehensive rules and read the tournament guidelines if you haven't, because it makes it so much easier for your judge staff if you know what's going on. It's so much easier to judge people that don't need their hand held, and it's a tough job for our judge staff. So of course, shout out to the Chicago staff that were brilliant. But there's some really hard decisions that need to be made, and we saw those on stream too. It's it's a difficult spot to be put in. So make it as easy on your judge staff as you can. Of course, we always need more judges, like Al says in the chat. So do that. Check it out. Something that I am thrilled about, Stephen. Oh man, I'm so happy.
Academy?
No, but they've we'll get there.
Oh,
I don't know what the fuck's going on with Academy, so we can talk about that. But they also decreased the judge promo level requirements.
Yeah, you're gonna get them.
Yeah, so I am blessed in the fact that I have been part of the judge program for the past like couple of months now since they activated it. And so obviously the judge promo level like reduction is for people that are just getting in right now. Right. But I'm thrilled that I basically already have my play set.
Yeah.
Because I've been judging all of our stuff locally. So I'm already like level, 10 or something, which is great. Maybe 9. I don't know. One of those. But I'm going to get those. I had the opportunity to see one of those in person this weekend on the Hush Hush. Shh, I'm sure that's not a secret. They exist. Dude, they're so pretty.
Oh, man. Well, that's the girls on it, too.
I know. So pretty. And, something that was brought up in that conversation, which maybe you'll find interesting, maybe the chat will find interesting. Can you recognize, like, in your mind's eye, can you see the judge symbol that they, like, put on the, like, notebook? And that's it's the, God, what do they call that?
Laurel?
Jesus. Nope, it's the thing in the text box. Oh, the watermark. There we go. It's the watermark in the text box. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's and they asked me this, and of course, I'm a simp. I knew the answer. It's the top of Ari's staff. It's the cosmic astroscope.
Oh, that's very cute.
And so, my extreme copium. That means I have to put Ari on all the judge promos. Obviously, she's the face of the judge program.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have a new girl in your life.
Yeah.
So how does that work? You're just gonna still simp on Ari?
Listen, man.
I'm just questioning it.
I got a lot of love to give.
I'm just questioning it.
I got a lot of love to give, and I'm happy to have some options. The worst thing,
that new card that they came out with seemed pretty good.
A couple of them seem pretty good.
That cleric one?
Lots of them seem pretty good.
The
counterspell or the fractal one?
The fractal one. The don't take damage.
Oh, no, the third one. Nascent,
yeah.
Something barrier. Yeah.
Nascent barrier. That card looks sick.
Yeah.
Prevent 3 damage.
We're cooking.
Glimpse 3?
4 damage.
4 damage?
I think it's level +1.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
That card's awesome.
Could be cool.
I mean, obviously, it's the same type of like play style, play pattern that makes Ari kind of miserable to play, but like it still seemed, it's like a better version of other cards you had already been playing that don't let you glimpse.
We'll see. I think Ari's future is looking bright, and we'll come back to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But like you said, Stephen, next on our docket is the Academy program, which is
super cool.
It's something. So what I understand, Stephen, the Academy program, say like choose a store, that store for like a month runs scheduled like demo days. If you, Stephen, come down to the store and you teach new people, you get a sweet Vapor Jet Shield Bearer promo.
Correct.
It's a little bit unclear how many stores will be chosen, what the selection process will be which obviously I'm very interested in because I want to enroll us in that selection process. I hope that, fingers crossed, anybody that runs the regional I think would be a great spot to put that sort of event. But we'll see. Maybe they want to, maybe it's more of a sort of population density thing, like if they're in Massachusetts, maybe they want to put that in like Boston for more visibility. I'm really not sure. It is super cool though. Something that is really hard for Grand Archive, and let me know if I'm off base here. And this is hard for other games as well. Is like it's usually on the TO, the store. To be responsible for like running demo games and stuff, because obviously like you're here for fun. This is not your job. You don't have to be teaching people Grand Archive. So it is nice for there to be an incentive for people to like come out to this event just to be helpful and teach people demos. And so I think the Academy promo will do that, especially since she's very pretty and a very sort of ubiquitous card currently. So I think that's pretty cool. It says it rolls out in September, so hopefully we'll see soon what the deal is for the Academy promo.
Oh God, she is so pretty. I definitely want 4 of them.
She has she's a woman with realistic proportions. Yeah. She looks like she could be a real person.
Yeah.
And we stan.
Realistic.
Chat, we love it. We stan. Yeah. So go to your local Academy event if you have one and do some teaching. Next on the docket for Chicago announcements was the announcement of the Stone Scale Band errata, but I figure we'll wait and talk about that when we talk about BNR at the end. But they showed us a little sneak peek of the errata for Stone Scale Band, and they showed us the announcement of the bands and restricted list coming on Monday with a picture of Erupting Rhapsody in the background. Everybody went, "Oh my God! Oh no!"
And then I went,
"Yeah,
no."
They're trolling. They're absolute trollers."
Yeah, I was like, you mean the one person that's playing this deck is gonna lose the ability to play his deck?
Yeah, dude, Matt's broken. Nerf Matt.
Yeah, there was that game on stream where Matt was playing and he just revealed 4 Erupting Rhapsodies from his hand after he cast 3.
Right.
I was just like, oh, that's tough.
It's pretty good. We did also get some Mortal Ambition spoilers, and we'll be here all night talking until we're blue in the face if we
read them all.
Yeah, go over every single card, but we can sort of talk about them in sweeping natures. We got some new keywords. We got some interesting pieces of support. Something that I was fortunate enough to do this weekend was have an interview with Mr. Lead Developer Zilladar. That you guys will see at some point once I figure out how badly I fucked it up. But something that Sil says in that interview that you guys will see it at some point is when they were designing this set and sort of how they're going to be designing sets going forward is they separate classes into tiers as far as support goes, right? So for Mortal Ambition, Mage Warrior is a tier 1 class because it's obviously a warrior mage set, and then there's tier 2 classes and tier 3 classes as well. He didn't obviously say which ones were which, but I think something cool that we can see a little bit in these few spoilers that we've gotten is that every class is going to get some support, but there may be certain classes that get sort of an archetype or a sort of holistic design in that sort of tier 2 space that will get a little bit more support than the rest. And so maybe we see that in stuff like, the equestrian keyword, which we saw for the first time.
Yeah. I have Trusty Seed play sets for $100 if anyone needs them.
That's what I'm saying. Sell us all your foil Trusty Steeds, because nobody believes me. I've been saying it all weekend, Steven. I know that you believe me.
Yeah.
Trusty Steed's broken.
I sent a
it's
picture.
Like a 2-mana 12/12 or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I
literally sent a picture of 3 play sets of Trusty Steeds to our group chat, literally after the weekend. I was just like, I need these.
It's about to go crazy, and you guys just don't understand.
Card's not even that bad, and now that there's horse support, it's
and I think the best thing to say about our boy Trusty Steed is the other horse
is hindered.
Sucks. The other horse actually blows. So, I don't know. Trusty Steed kind of up huge, I think.
Yeah.
Our boy.
Well,
Trusty
obviously,
Steed.
we haven't seen the ultra rare horse yet, though.
Right. Yeah. I hope they're all named Steed. I love that we have Trusty Steed and Lumbering Steed.
Yeah.
I hope we have Yoked Steed.
The only card of these spoilers that I've really enjoyed is this assassin card.
Yeah, the assassin card is kind of wild.
It's an absurd aggro piece.
Yeah, it's Rending Flames 4 through 8, right? The attacks for what, 8?
Yeah.
Or
no,
7?
7.
Yeah. This for anyone that is on the internet or in the Discords or whatever, and is seeing that picture of me at this point now turning to Arisana is the prevailing photo, but. I believe that when that photo was captured was when they showed this card, and I turned to Trevor, who plays with us and is on the team, who is a devout accepted contract enjoyer, and that was my reaction when I turned to Trevor, and this makes accepted contract good. So that's it's pretty exciting.
This card is insane.
It's like really good. Three life is a lot too.
Yeah, I think the thing that I said in the chat when this showed up, I was like, oh, Fiza's good again. Mm-hmm. It's just one card. Fiza's good again.
That's a good one. I mean, they did need the tools, right? They were like suffering a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think that's pretty good. I think some of the water cards are pretty good too. We get a new Frostbind.
Title Lock is pretty cool, yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. The new Fractal card, I think it's like pretty insane for decks like Nico.
Yeah.
So definitely some cool stuff. The new the cat is wild, like insane.
Yeah.
For Tamer, all of you Tamer players out there. So, I know that's a sore subject these days, but like, come on. All right. So we got those. We are going to get some more spoilers as we go on. But I see you've pulled it up already.
The exciting news.
Yeah.
We are now getting non-CSR full arts for ultra rares. Mm-hmm. I think they are absolutely beautiful. The one that they've shown is Dragon's Dawn, which is just an absurd. This card is absolutely absurd for Fire Warriors.
Yeah, card's nuts. It's like probably nuts for just most fire decks.
Yeah.
At the very least, it's just a better Warriors Longsword. Like one cost 2/3.
Yeah.
It's like pretty crazy. But yeah, the class bonus Warrior effect is just certifiably nuts. Attacks for 4, draws a card. When you combine this with Rending Flames, it's insane.
Yeah.
14 damage on hit draw cards. Like, it's pretty good, I would say. But yeah, it is really exciting to see full arts. I did. It was a little bit unclear when we were watching the stream, or I guess the presentation, depending on where you were. I was a little unclear, but it's because I'm slow. I understand that. On whether or not all the URs would be full art, or there would be like normal ones and full art ones. I did get the confirmation that all of them are full art. So in first edition, all URs come like this. They can come in foil and non-foil. So, man, you thought URs were expensive now. You're worried about paying your $25 for your UR. Imagine when they're foil, bro. Foil full art URs. My lord. But yeah, they said something that I found a little bit interesting. And, maybe it's... they have a bit of a wider look than we do. The problem that Steve and I always have with Grand Archive is we're very much inside the echo chamber, right? And so we try our best to reach outside of that and look at things from the outside. But they said that this was sort of a reaction to wanting to make the box opening experience better, which, at least like anecdotally, I've thought was like holistically positive. So it's interesting to hear them talk about it, where they're like, yeah, we wanted the box opening experience to feel a little bit better. And I can see that when you're opening things like on an individual basis, right? Like the single box opening is a little bit, maybe a little bit less exciting if you don't hit a CSR. And I think maybe one of the complaints that I have heard a few times is, imagine that you are brand new to Grand Archive, right? And you open a booster box of Dawn of Ashes, and you open a Grand Crusader's Ring in your box, which is great. Like, oh my God, you opened your $50 Grand Crusader's Ring. There's no real good indicator that is the case, because like it's just a little orange at the bottom says you are, but when you're just like flipping through the packs, you could like easily pass over that. And so maybe this is a concession to that, where you will very much know that this is a fancy card and you've opened it and there's only one in the box. And you're like, oh my God, it's foil. It's a foil Grand Crusader's Ring. So yeah, I think it's super exciting. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this, and hopefully moving forward that they continue to do cool things like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this would be a great note going forward. Something that I would like to see, and this will like remain to be seen as we enter AMB spoiler season. Especially now that they're full art, and they're like full art and they can come foil, and they're going to be much more of a chase card than they were before. I would really love to see GA go back to Regalia only URs.
Yeah.
Because I really dread thinking about picking up God help me, mage, cleric, whatever, URs in full art, in foil, in play sets.
Yeah.
Just like sounds awful. So I'm fingers crossed that this is sort of a nod that they're going to be going back to Regalia URs.
Yeah. The other thing I need to bring up, it is a concern that I have the moment I saw this, is I hope they don't start overprinting versions of cards. Because like you said that they only come full art, right? There's not like a non-full art version.
Yeah, just one version of this card, yeah.
Okay.
Sort of.
So, well, foil.
Until alter, right? Like, assumingly won't be full art, but...
Correct. So, my concern, which is valid because it's one of the reasons why...
Steven, you're always valid.
Which is one of the reasons why Force of Will's market was awful. And it's because every card had 4 printings. It came... Every card came non-foil, foil, full art, and then SRs and above came textured foil, textured full art. And it just drove the prices of all the cards into the ground, which is good for players trying to play the game, but awful for players that want to retain any value of their cards.
Right.
And I just hope that that's not something that GA falls into the habit of doing.
Yeah, we'll see. They're definitely no stranger to alternate arts, and we've seen a lot of those in this past year. But something that I find really poignant about the way that they do like SP and the Square Life promos and stuff like that, which are just alternate arts of existing cards, is those are all like low rarity, right? So they don't, like the SP printings don't really affect the price of Comet Fall because everyone has 1,000 of that card, right?
Right.
And so hopefully they keep it that way. I think that's like a pretty reasonable middle ground to still give people like alternate arts that obviously they want without, like really affecting the price. We will see, obviously, when AMB finally hits Alter, however many years from now, that there will be a second printing of these cards, assumingly not in full art. It does says first edition only on this slide that we have here. So we will get that second art eventually. But this is sort of like akin to what they did in first edition, a little bit fancier, obviously, right? But where we had Trisket and the domains came full art in first edition. Dawn of Ashes. And so hopefully we'll be okay. But I do agree that we want to stay away from that Magic the Gathering sort of approach to print 65 versions of every card, because then it's just very unclear, I think, to the average consumer which one should be the fancy one.
Right.
And so I think as long as we have the single fancy version like we do now, that should be okay. But it all remains to be seen. We are, of course, very excited. The art is gorgeous on this full art UR, so I can't wait to see the other ones, hopefully the ones that have cool classes on them instead of Warrior.
Ooh, tough.
Speaking of cool classes, Steven, they announced Alchemical Revolution Alter Edition. Woo, 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 woo.
We need a soundboard.
We love reprints. So reprints are coming. They made that big announcement a couple of weeks ago about their dedication to reprints when they announced Dungeon Guide will be featured in Mortal Ambition. And we now see that dedication is finally going to see some fruition. We are going to be getting Alchemical Revolution Alter Edition in January. So it's still a ways off. So if you were looking to pick up your Academy guides, probably wouldn't wait 6 months. You can pick them up now, but hopefully in the future that will drop prices of cards like Academy Guide and Gloam Spire and Carter and lots of staples that they're featured in Alchemical Revolution. But something really exciting that we see here is similar to Alter DOA. I know it's been a long time, everybody. Steve, you at home, since we had Alter Edition of anything. But this is sort of similar to DOA Alter, where we have 7 new CSRs that are approximately 1 in 30 boxes. So that is the same rate as Alter. I heard a lot of people this weekend, they were like, oh my God, why is the CSR rate so low? It's always 1 in 15. But they're like not thinking about this being an Alter printing because it's the second time ever that we've gotten one. The CSRs are going to be a little bit harder to get. That is sort of why they encourage you to buy First Ed. That's the whole point. We're getting 7, though, which is like pretty crazy.
Which is, I can think of 4.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can think of 4.
But I don't know what the other 3 are going to be.
Yeah, so that part's a little bit different from Alter, where we are not just getting the Lineage Break CSRs, and we are very much assumingly getting the Lineage Break CSRs. Somebody asked Silidar, like they like shouted out of the crowd, about a Nico CSR, and he gave his very traditional, puzzled the fuck look, which I think is all but a confirmation that Nico will be coming out. So yeah, I assume 4 of these CSRs are Vanitas, Nico, Polcock. And then the other 3 are sort of up in the air. So whatever your desired CSR is, let us know in the comments. We'll take a look. Mine's Inzali.
Doesn't she already have one?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. She's hot.
Inzali.
And bad. So she'll be $100.
Yeah.
But
good for you.
She's cute.
Yeah.
I like Inzali. I want her to smite me. What about you, Steven? Who do you want? Got any uniques that you have your eye on? We already got Freitas.
I know. Freitas was the first one that came to mind.
We got Lena, the Dormigian queen, whatever her name is.
Purse is already done.
Mm-hmm. It's like kind of a short list. I was looking at it the other day. Kind of a small list. Something that Trevor,
Rococo,
internet famous Trevor, said is that an Academy Guide CSR would be unhinged.
That'd be sick.
But I think that would be super cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
been a while since ALC, so like not all of like the uniques are stuck in my head right now.
But I think you're right. You've hit most of the good ones, and they mostly already all have CSRs.
Right.
Carter, Rococo, Purse, all these like big archetype cards, Dahlia, like whatever.
Yeah. So Lena.
Yeah, Lena, Dormigian, whatever her name is. I don't even remember the title of that card.
Yeah, she's definitely there.
She is definitely in the game. She's definitely one of the Grand Archive cards of all time.
And she's a unique.
Yep. Oh, she might be better than Freitas. So like, I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see if like maybe some of the weapons. I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen a weapon CSR, right?
That would be pretty cool. Man, that would be cool.
Like Nico's weapon, Polcock's weapon. Vanitas doesn't have a weapon.
Maybe. Parsnet did get a CSR.
Yeah, she was in EVP, Event Pack 1.
Speaking of weapons, Steven, all URs will be getting different art.
Which is cool.
So this is, again, akin to Donabash's Altar.
I wonder if they are going to be full arts. That'd be interesting.
I don't know. I think that would be a little bit strange. They definitely want to be encouraging people to buy First Ed, right, over Altar. So I don't think that they want them to be like superior versions. So that feels a little bit bad for people that invested in First Edition.
Yeah.
But as you guys all know, almost all of the DOA Altar art, just a strict upgrade for the DOA First Ed. And so maybe we'll see that here. I'm like very, very excited to hopefully see my wife on the art of Scry the Stars.
Oh, that
which is
sick.
a UR, and we're getting new art.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, because that art's just kind of it's got some stars on it.
It looks like Scry the Star.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huge news, Steven.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Printed to demand too is awesome.
Like Altar, should be in print for a couple of years.
Yeah, so that means that Carters aren't going to be a cajillion dollars.
Yeah, Academy Guides, Carters.
Yeah.
Column Spires, all these expensive cards. The Eternal Kingdom. Yeah, lots of stuff. Steven, how do you feel about this last piece of news on this sheet here? It's pretty big, pretty big, exciting stuff for Alchemical Revolution Altar Edition. We are getting 20 new cards in an ALC subset. So the way that they're going to do this is every pack that you open will have one common slot replaced with the new ALC Altar subset. So this is, again, we're seeing like lots of parallels to how they did Donabash's Altar, right? Like giving you reasons to want to buy the set for people that are established. When I talked to Sil about it, he said this was very much not so much for the established players, but for the stores to feel a little bit less of a risk buying the product because your established players will want it. It has exclusive cards in it. It has new CSRs in it. So you won't just like buy a reprint set that's exclusively for new players and all of your established players don't care. But we are getting 20 new cards, which is pretty crazy. And unlike DOA Alter, where those cards were a little bit hard to get, I remember Young Beastbonders and Frostborn Paladins being a lot of money when Alter came out because you could only get them in Alter and they were just as rare as any uncommon.
Yep.
These will be one in every pack, so they'll be like a little bit more accessible. You open a booster box, you'll get 24 of these new cards. I think this is amazing. I think it's a great way to encourage people to still buy like a little bit of ALC. I assume people aren't going to be going batshit crazy like they do when a first ed set comes out, but like buy a couple of boxes, buy some packs here and there to pick up those new cards seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see. So like, these are obviously for 20 new cards to support the classes in ALC.
Yeah,
it's very interesting to see like after a year, because like comes out in January, which is a year after ALC.
Yeah,
now they're like, okay, here's 20 cards to support those characters. It's very interesting.
I've heard from a pretty reliable source that all 20 of them will be cleric cards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The very reliable source is me. I am the source.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Like, she needs it. She still wouldn't be good.
Yeah. So true, bestie. So I'm very excited, personally, for Alchemical Revolution Alter Edition, because Ari will probably get
a card.
The 5, maybe. That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 classes. She gets 5 cards. Come on, give me 5 cards. That's not so much to ask.
Yeah. Everyone else gets more though.
7, I know. Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not being unrealistic.
You're not.
776.
20 cards and a recollection.
Yeah, 20 cards and a recollection. That's what she needs. I don't think the recollections are coming, guys.
No, I don't either.
So yeah, that is ALC Alter Edition. Super, super duper exciting. We're very pumped for that. The last thing that I have to mention before we talk about the ban list and get out of here is that they have announced the developer live stream and design notes will be on September 14th. So you don't have to wait forever. It's kind of forever. But less than forever to learn about AMB and
the champions.
What the fucking champions do. Every time. I know you're out there. Every time I talk to Silidar and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for Kongming. Oh, what does she do? Ha ha. All he tells me is she spins with purpose. And that's all I got. So you guys take that one to heart, that Kongming spins with purpose. Apparently that is like the biggest of all spoilers. So it means something. And if you can figure out what it is, please tell me. But I have no idea. And I just want to know what she does.
Oh, God.
And hopefully we'll find out on the 14th. Well, I said that. I said, and we'll see what Kongming does. And he went, maybe. And I was like, I thought
he said that we'd get a first look at champions in.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably just trolling me.
I think he said that during the.
He's probably just trolling me. Yeah, everybody. Al is exactly right in the chat. Make sure that you go to the Let's Make Kongming Competitive chat in main Discord and leave a spinning Kongming daily, please. Thank you. So Steven, I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. So I'm gonna pass this off to you. I'll give a read from memory to the chat, and then you tell me how you feel. So this Monday, following Ascent Chicago, we had our latest bans and restricted list, and there have been quite a few updates following Chicago. The story of Chicago was these 65 or something Sylvie players that were taking up a large portion of the meta share, like very much the most represented deck, only closely followed by Lorraine, but Lorraine is a bit disingenuous as she finds her way into many different decks as that like level 1 champion, Nico decks and Merlin decks and Lorraine decks and whatever. So our updates to the ban list. First and foremost, Stone Scale Band has been errated. Our first ever Proxia's Vault errata. Stone Scale Band has had its memory cost increased by 1. It has had its activated ability cost increased by 1. And its activated ability now is only the next ally can be activated at fast activation. Stone Scale Band has also been moved to Category 1. It is now being watched, even with the errata in place. is being watched for potential abuse of Terra strategies in the future. Erupting Rhapsody, despite some cheeky misleadings at the press conference, has not been moved. It is still in Category 2. However, Korhazi Outlook has been moved from Category 1 to Category 2 following its success in Chicago, but most notably, as they describe in the ban list, just in regards to its fairly toxic play patterns.
Correct.
Last but not least, Creative Shock has been removed from the list, deemed that it is not powerful enough to be watched, and that their solution will be to add consistency tools like Creative Shock into the other colors.
Correct.
Steven, how you feel?
I think there's a few cards that should have been added to the list. Incapacitate for one. I'm a proponent. I will always defend Assassin because it's one of my favorite classes. I love Tristan so much. But after watching stream on the weekend, it is clear that cards like Korhazi Outlook and Incapacitate really just make her like hyper oppressive and almost not it's not fun to play against, right? So I would have liked to see Incapacitate Category 1. I think I understand that they move them slowly. I think an all-out ban of Outlook should have come. I think she's probably too good of a card for the future, right? Like, not being able to do anything in response to your opponent killing you is hard.
Right.
And I know that in the past I've said that I don't see a problem with it, but, you know, for the meanings of jokes or whatnot. And
opinions change.
And, you know, because I love Tristan and I wanted her to do well, but she's doing too well. And I've said it at the beginning of the season where I said, you know, I was failing from success because she's too good. Everyone's going to play her. But it has been proven time and time again that Tristan's toolkit is too strong with current cards in it. And it's glad to see that Korhazi Outlook made it onto the, like, up the list. I would have liked to see, like I said, Incapacitate on the list because I think a counterspell with no agency in this game is really tough, right?
Sure.
I know that you have similar opinions on counterspells like that, but I would have liked to see Incapacitate. And I think I also would have liked to see Storm Slime make Category 1. Because watching the weekend, Stone Scale banning Storm Slimes out and whatnot seemed really strong, and dropping a 5-1 or 5-1, right? Buff counters give it just one.
5-3.
5-3, right?
Yeah.
Watching a 5-3 hit the board and deal you 8 and then it hit you for 5 is wild for no mana or influence. Like, no cards out of hand. You just 13 damage for 0 seems tough. Erupting Rhapsody, you know, I don't like that card.
Sure.
I think it's problematic in a lot of ways. But with how the meta has been shaping up and it's kind of fallen off, I think staying Category 2 is fine. Creative Shock, on the other hand, I still think is problematic, but it's good to see that they're going to give Water and Wind similar cards to make it, you know, bridge the gap.
I think those are all very reasonable points. It was a little bit unclear regarding Creative Shock if like the wording makes it unclear if they meant that there are already things in place that that are on the power level of Creative Shock, or if they are going to be coming out in the future. I sort of assumed that it would be like Mortal Ambition would be supplying something like that, but I'd be curious to know how they feel about that.
Yeah, I could see cards like Surveil the Wind and stuff like that.
Right, like there are powerful cards that sort of fit in that spot, but I wonder if they meant that there's going to be direct ancillaries, or that like the power level of Water and Wind are just high enough now.
Creative title, it's just the same card.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Primordial Ritual, right, which is like Water's ancillary to Cremation Ritual, and so maybe we will see some more in the future. Yeah, I was actually like really impressed with this ban list. I know that a lot of people weren't. I know there was a lot of doomsaying after the weekend, and I know that a lot of people wanted to see a more knee-jerk reaction. But personally, whether or not the game is like in the most healthy place, I think unless there is something like catastrophically wrong, I think sort of knee-jerk reactions are a really bad precedent to set for any trading card game.
Yeah, I agree.
Something that I really like about Grand Archives is the fact that they inch all of their bans up, and so we can sort of see them coming, right? Like I think Korazi Outlook is like pretty clear, but we can talk about that in a second. But I like that they give you that sort of forethought, and that you can see this sort of creeping towards an eventual category 3 without just like you wake up tomorrow and your deck is banned and you have a tournament on the weekend, you don't know what to do. So people can just like sort of be prepared in case that is the case. I do agree to a certain extent about Incapacitate. I do think that card is like potentially problematic. The thing that I like about Tristan, I think Tristan is a very low floor, high ceiling deck. We saw that this weekend. There were like quite a few Tristan players, but not quite a few Tristan players that did very well, because the deck is very hard to pilot, especially into a meta like this that has Sylvie decks, which are traditionally the other way around. They have a very high floor. I think Korazi Outlook is obviously problematic for the play patterns that it creates. I think that every game that I play against Tristan, with basically any deck that I've ever played, is like super fun and interactive until they play that card, and then I just like get upset because all of the fun is drained out of the game when Korazi Outlook's on the board. Something that is interesting that we should discuss, especially something like you said regarding the sort of creeping of Korazi Outlook, is, and maybe even Erupting Rhapsody, is the fact that the next BNR is like way sooner than usually we would expect. The next BNR update is on September 2nd, which is about a month from now, a little bit less than a month. And there are no like huge events in the meantime. There's going to be a couple of like online regionals and obviously regionals around the world.
That's before Singapore?
But it's before Singapore. It is, yeah, notably a few weeks before Singapore. So do you think that maybe the way that they structured it this way is to sort of keep that cadence of moving cards up? And I personally think that we probably just see Korazi Outlook banned on September 2nd.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't see that announcement.
It was interesting. Sort of flew under the radar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could definitely see Outlook just being outright banned then.
Right.
Maybe they give the online events, a little bit of breathing room and see how Tristan does, and then just.
Yeah, and something similar to what you said, I think that the Stone Scale ban, errata, and category increase is. I think the category increase, at least from the impression that I got from Sil, is sort of not related to Sylvie. It is related to Terra strategies in the future, especially with Terra being a supported advanced element in Mortal Ambition. They're looking at Stone Scale Band as it is, potentially being problematic for those future strategies.
Yeah.
I do think the errata obviously was a concession to Sylvie. Stone Scale Band, I think, ubiquitously the most powerful card in the deck, and does really allow cards like Storm Slime to be oppressive and like sort of out of control. The amount of damage that you can get out of Stone Scale Band, not only drawing you a new hand, but fueling your Gaia's Blessing to make your Storm Slimes 4 damage bigger, is insane. And it allows, or it did allow current Sylvie to sort of have these extremely explosive draws with like 1 or 2 influence, which is totally not okay.
Yeah.
And so I think probably the way that these ban lists are scheduled, they have Stone Scale Band on the new errata, and we're going to see how these bigger online events work, how these other regionals across the world shake out. I think Taiwan has one coming up as well, and they're a huge region. They have 80-90 person regionals.
Yeah.
And maybe if Sylvie is still seeing this sort of meteoric representation across the board, maybe then in this new ban list they take a look at something like Storm Slime. But I think they're using this errata to hope that this sort of tempers that deck, and I think it really does.
Yeah,
but we'll see if it does enough. Yeah. And that's really the question.
Yeah, I when I talk about stuff, I never want it to be just like you killing like the archetype, right?
Right.
It's just like from watching a game, which I watched a lot of Sylvie that weekend. There were so many times where it was just like one-sided, and it was just like, oh, Storm Slime, good game. And I was like, ugh.
Card's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're two very deceptively powerful cards in Storm Slime and Ethereal Slime that really were running the weekend. But we saw the decks that were built to combat Sylvie can still do that, and that's I think the story that people should take away. That look at Sean and Matt that are playing decks that were very much built with Sylvie in mind, right? Like Tristan traditionally, not a great Sylvie matchup, but like if you build your deck to be tuned against that, you can use that sort of toolbox to win that maybe unfavorable matchup. Yeah. Same with Erupting. It's a deck that has like a pretty bad matchup spread, unless it's into stuff like Sylvie, which it has a very good matchup into, and you get to sort of just take advantage of that all weekend. And we saw that from Matt G and Cactus and some other talented players as well. So yeah, keep an eye out. We'll take a look at that ban list on September 2nd. But yeah, I think overall I'm pretty positive on it, but that might be a hot take around these parts.
Yeah,
heard some negative feelings out there in the internet.
Yeah, it's always tough, right? Because people, they want instant gratification, and when they don't get it, sometimes they can be big babies about it.
Right.
But
yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. I'm really interested to see the new ban list on the 2nd. I think that'll be a interesting look when we don't have like this large event to sort of marquee the new ban list. Like it was pretty clear to everybody that there would be changes after Chicago, right? Because 283 person event, pretty big deal. But I'm really curious to see what the changes are from now until September 2nd.
Right.
The last thing that I want to touch on before we let you guys go. Lots of rambling today. We love the news episodes because we get to talk so much.
Right. Just go off.
Tonight, if you're watching the show live, tonight. Ascent Chicago tickets, Ascent Toronto tickets go live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're on the right side of the country. The left side, but the right side, but it's the right side.
Right. Yep. I already have mine. I already have the notification set on my phone.
Yeah, I got to set an alarm, see if I can drain my bank account. New Spirit of Wind. Yeah. Her name's Blissa.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's going to be hot.
She's so hot. Do you see these pictures?
Yeah, dude, she's so hot. We'll put the picture right up on the screen. We see her. She's so hot. It's just a black square that says announcing soon.
This is Blissa.
It says Blissa. One of them's deep fried. Like the one that got posted at 2 a.m. is just like a deep fried screenshot. And I was like, what's going on? Why are you doing this?
It's because it's a picture of the picture, but zoomed in super hard. So it's super unfocused. Yeah. It's so good.
It's very good. So yeah, I think that's all we have. Hey, it's good to be back, guys. Thank you for watching. We really do appreciate it. Thank for everybody supporting me at Ascent Chicago. It's very nice. So it's very nice to see you guys. And of course, if you guys are going to Toronto, we will be there. Very exciting to be in Toronto. First time leaving the country for me.
Not for me, but first time in Toronto.
I hear it's nice up in
I've been to Quebec. And Quebec was nice.
They all speak French up there here.
Oui. It makes you feel stupid.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
French people do seem smarter than me.
Well, no, it's just like everyone in Quebec is bilingual.
Oh, yeah. They're way smarter than me. That's what I'm saying.
Way fluent.
Yeah.
And so it's like they walk up to you and they're like, they say hello in both, and then we'll respond to you with whatever you answer to them.
And you just feel like a big dummy. You're like,
and I'm just like, I know one language.
I speak with my cursed Boston accent.
I speak American.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
exciting stuff. But we will be back, I think, Steven, next week. Next week look good for you?
Yeah, baby.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back in a full-time schedule.
And I think we are now at the point where next week we'll probably do our Mercurial Heart retrospective, as we have gone through enough of our MRC season. We've had our big marquee event, and so we'll have our Mercurial Heart retrospective and talk a little bit about the set and what we feel about it and how we feel about Sylvie and Tristan. I know you guys are excited to hear those. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to catch the show, you can find us here live every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Asterisk.
You can find the previous episode up on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Asterisk. Still haven't edited the one that we recorded last, so sorry. We should also have an interview with lead game designer Silidar on the channel soon, as soon as I edit that. I don't know why I'm talking like William Shatner. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Woo!